Hey guys, here's a daily dose of super cute baby to brighten your day. I mean, come on, how cute is that? Speaking of babies, the whole concept of Punnett squares is that we're trying to predict what our offspring, what our babies could potentially look like in terms of their phenotypes because of the genotypes that they could inherit. So let's do a practice problem today. And this practice problem is a little bit tricky because I'm not going to exactly tell you what's dominant right away. So if you saw a problem like this that said a heterozygous tall tulip is crossed with a short, let's just say tulip plant, what are the expected genotypic and phenotypic ratios for this offspring? Meaning, like, what percent of my kids would be tall versus short, homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, or heterozygous? So let's start out with the key because any good student is going to make a key since they listen to Miss Culp. If you guys were going to use T for tulip, sure, don't care. Then a heterozygous tall tulip is the information we're given. We don't know necessarily what's dominant, but we could figure it out. If we know that being heterozygous makes you a tall tulip plant, then we know that you have one dominant allele and you're tall. What does that tell me compared to a short tulip plant? Well, tall has to be the dominant trait. If you have one dominant allele, you're going to see the dominant trait. If you have two dominant alleles, obviously you still see the dominant trait, but you're going to need two recessive alleles in order to see a recessive trait. So big T is tall, big T, little t is tall. And the only way to get a short plant would be little t, little t. So let's cross these two tulips. We are going to take a heterozygous tall, which would be this guy, and a short tulip, which would be this guy. And we're going to figure out what their kids look like. So let's look at my Punnett square boxes here. All right, and I apologize if there's not a lot of room, but girls got to try to make a million jam boards, and I do what I can. So we're going to cross the heterozygous one here. Does it matter if I put the heterozygous there at the top or if I put him on the side? No, who cares? Doesn't matter. But I just put it there because that's what I thought of in the moment. Hey, here's my two little t's, which is the other parent. There's my short guy. Now we just fill in the boxes. Remember, these are the parents. The parents go on the outside of the boxes. The offspring, the children, are what's inside each square of my Punnett square. So we take what's on the top. Let me change colors. We take what's on the side. Top, side. What's on the top? What's on the side? What's on the top, which was this guy right now? What's on the side? What's on the top? And what's on the side? Okay, so we did the Punnett square. That's actually not the hardest part. Now that we filled it in, we need to interpret it. So let's take a look at these offspring real quick. I have a big T, little t, big T, little t. I have little t, little t, little t, little t. So the first thing that we're going to do is do the ratios of the genotypes, aka the set of alleles. So looking at this cross that I just did, we saw that 2 out of 4 of my boxes are big T, little t. 2 boxes out of 4 would be 50%, or you could just count each box as 25. So 25 plus 25 is 50%. I have 50% of my offspring are going to be heterozygous. Big T, little t. If you look back at my boxes, I also have 50% that are little t, 2 out of 4. 50%. If you want to write the percentage, we're going to say 50 and 50. If you did a ratio, which is acceptable as well, you would say 1 to 1 because it's technically 2 to 2, but we're going to simplify it. I like percentages better. I think that's easier, right? But we're going to say that's our genotypic frequencies. Now we got to talk about the phenotypes. What do these tulips look like? Well, according to my key, a big T, little t plant is going to be tall, and a little t plant is going to be short. So similarly, we're going to say that half of my kids, 1-to-1 or 50%, are going to be tall tulips, and 50%, 1-to-1, 2 out of 4, are going to be short. So, takeaway. Interpreting the Punnett square, don't forget that each of these boxes is equivalent to 25% because it's 1 out of 4. So you add together the things that are the same to get that 50% that we answered today. This is especially important when we're formatting things, that we always keep the big letter first. Because if you accidentally wrote little t, big T here instead, you might not realize that it's the same. And then you might say 25% and 25% instead of 50% are big T, little t. Okay? Another reason that we keep all of our formatting the same, big letter comes first. Okay? So there's our end result. 50% are tall, 50% are short, 50% are big T, little t, heterozygous, and 50% are little t, little t. Okay? Parker says, I hope you have a great day.